Today we are going to talk about the book, The Recipe for a Perfect Wife. It is the fifth book by Karma Brown, and it's an engaging and suspenseful look at how patriarchy shaped the women's lives in the 1950s and continues to do so today. In this captivating dual narrative novel, a modern-day wife finds inspiration in hidden notes left by her home's previous owner, a quintessential 1950s housewife. As she discovers remarkable parallels between this woman's life and their own, it causes her to question the foundation of her own relationship with her husband and what it means to be a wife fighting for her place in a patriarchal society. Alice Hale was happy with her husband in her tiny apartment in Manhattan. She only agrees to her husband Nate's desire to relocate to the suburbs to avoid telling him the truth about why she lost her public relations job. 60 years earlier, in the same Greenville house, Nellie Murdoch finds solace tending to her precious garden filled with eye-catching flowers and a few poisonous plants. She wears dungarees while gardening as a small act of rebellion against her husband Richard, who prefers her in dresses. From her neighbor's perspective, Nellie is a proud homeowner and a wonderful cook with an enviable domestic life. But appearances are not what they seem behind the doors. Recipe for a Perfect Wife is a time-hopping novel. Through her two alternating narratives, Brown explores how the fight for women's rights has been a non-linear progression without a finish line. Despite the years and the rise of feminist movement that separates their stories, Alice and Nellie face similar challenges. Nellie is a victim of domestic abuse, while Alice receives pressure around starting a family. But neither of them are in a stable financial position to demand what she wants. Both become isolated and withdrawn emotionally to protect the facade of the perfect wife. Initially, Alice feels alienated in her new house. She tells everyone that she is working on a new novel when she hasn't been able to write even a single word. It's not until Alice finds a dusty box of Nellie's well-worn cookbooks and copies of Lady's House Journal in the basement that she finds some purpose. She becomes obsessed with the previous owner of the cookbooks and 1950s housewife culture in general. She picks up smoking and retro dresses from a local shop and sets out to reproduce Nellie's recipes. Brown opens each chapter with one of Nellie's recipes or a quote from a real vintage manual instructing women on the fine art of pleasing their husbands through purposeful subservience. According to these real-world sources, being a successful wife requires military-like strategy. It's an entertaining detail that also helps underscore the societal expectations Nellie faces and why she chooses her ultimate means of escape. Alice, on the other hand, has a flawed sense of judgment and takes out her anger on others. But her mistakes serves the narrative well. It's not just the good girl in the circle skirt who finds herself trapped in an unhappy situation. Hidden behind veneer of a domestic novel, Recipe for a Perfect Wife doubles as a slow-burning thriller with a satisfying conclusion. Through her exploration of the past, Brown delivers a timely message about the state of marriages today and the many ways in which women continue to fight for control over their future.